Ever since the Judgement of Paris in 1976, California has gone from strength to strength. A handful of West Coast superstars now rub shoulders with the greats of the old world, and no one epitomises this meteoric rise more than Screaming Eagle. Along with Harlan Estate, this property now possesses must-own status amongst serious global collectors. I'm Jeremy Howard, CEO and co-founder of Crew World Wine, and I want to tell you why Screaming Eagle 2016 might just be America's greatest ever wine. For a start, Screaming Eagle has strong claim to being the highest rated winery in the world. Since its debut vintage in 1992, Wine Advocate has rated 22 vintages of Screaming Eagle and has scored no less than 7 of them a perfect 100 points. That is a perfection ratio of 31.8%, the highest in our database of established producers. Screaming Eagle is located in the renowned Oakville AVA appellation and is only 57 acres in size. This is small relative to comparable Bordeaux estates. Lafite Rothschild, for example, extends to 277 acres. The winery is one of the most secretive in the world. Almost no one is allowed to visit, including many famous critics. And their website doesn't even acknowledge their flagship wine. The estate sits on a fault line and contains a complex array of soils, from clay to volcanic rock to alluvial gravels. With the Mayacamas Mountains to the west and the Vaca Range buffeting the east, the vineyard enjoys a more moderate climate than surrounding areas. The warm days coupled with cool nights allow for extended ripening, fostering the development of deep, complex flavours and structured tannins in the grapes. When it comes to grape selection, Screaming Eagle is beyond meticulous. All vineyard operations, from pruning to harvesting, are carried out manually, allowing for precise management of each vine. The winemaking team has been led since 2010 by Nick Gislason, who is famously selective during the harvest, handpicking only the most exceptional fruit. This rigorous selection process contributes to the winery's low production volume and ensures that only top-tier Cabernet Sauvignon, exhibiting perfect ripeness and balance, makes it into the final blend. During an interview in 2012, Gislason suggested that the waiting time to make the mailing list to receive a direct allocation of Screaming Eagle was around 12 years. Following Screaming Eagle's exceptional run over the last decade, it is safe to assume that the waiting list is far longer today. We single out Screaming Eagle's 2016 vintage as potentially the greatest ever Screaming Eagle, and maybe the best American wine in history, for 3 main reasons. Number 1, it is the only Screaming Eagle with a clean sweep of 100-point scores from the 3 most influential critics. Number 2, it comes from probably the best ever Napa Cabernet vintage, which is 2016. And number 3, Screaming Eagle is the highest ranking American winery in the LiveX Power 100 list. The combination of 100-point scores from Wine Advocate, Vinous and James Suckling makes the 2016 vintage unique. But the quality of the vintage is equally important. The 2016 Napa Valley vintage is rated extraordinary and scored 98 points by Wine Advocate. Only the 2013 vintage comes close to it in Napa's modern history. Screaming Eagle's incredible demand profile shows clearly when we look at price. LiveX ranks all wine producers based on their average trade value on the exchange. Screaming Eagle comes in at 4th place of all the wineries in the world. Of course, Screaming Eagle is very expensive compared to most other wines, but what is important is relative price, adjusted for quality. We have a proprietary tool free on our platform which does this analysis. It shows that Screaming Eagle 2016 is actually significantly undervalued for its quality. Our model suggests a fair value for Screaming Eagle 2016 of $4,435 per bottle, which is 14.4% above the current price. Over the last decade, Screaming Eagle has enjoyed stellar performance on the secondary market. The 100-point vintages especially have risen dramatically in price. Screaming Eagle 2010 was, according to LiveX, trading at $1,595 per bottle in February 2013. Today its market price is $4,325, a rise of 171%, or a compound annual growth rate of 10.5% over 10 years. A truly remarkable performance. Screaming Eagle is owned by billionaire Stan Kroenke and family. Net worth $12.9 billion according to Forbes magazine. Kroenke's stewardship has remained faithful to the legacy of the estate, upholding its commitment to excellence and eschewing glitzy promotions. No celebrity endorsements or NFTs here. However, there is a clear ambition for Screaming Eagle to be fashioned into one of the very best wines in the world, with a price tag to match. And that is a favourable wind to sail behind as a collector. Although Screaming Eagle has achieved an impressive price point, it has plenty of headroom above it, especially given its minuscule production. Its market price still lags well behind other global icons with similar critical acclaim. Recent developments in the physical world might also play a role in the future price evolution of Screaming Eagle. Forest fires are becoming a recurrent theme in Napa Valley. 2017 saw devastating fires after a 6-year drought. As a result, 2017 saw many wineries, Screaming Eagle included, not produce any significant quantity of wine. In 2020, some wine was produced, but it was not universal across the valley. Similarly, rising temperatures and drought conditions are also making the job of Napa winemakers harder every year. It isn't possible simply to harvest grapes earlier because the hang time of grapes on the vine is critical to their developing the complex compounds which are necessary for truly extraordinary wines. The twin challenges of fire and drought call into question the sustainability of future yields. Nothing that happens in the future, however, can threaten wines like Screaming Eagle 2016, which are now safely in the bottle, often held far from California. This monumental wine will now improve and develop for 40 to 50 years at least. Collectors with a long-term outlook should target Screaming Eagle 2016. This wine deserves to be positioned among the other greats of the wine world, like Domaine della Romanée-Conti and Petrus, as core holdings in any AAA portfolio.